Hi everyone, so I am in a really indecisive mood today. I couldn't decide which video I wanted to film. I've prepped a few. I just was having an internal argument with myself. Does anybody else do that on a regular basis? I feel like because I work for myself, I have to have all the office politics rolled into my own head. So I've been to see HR today. And had a bit of a telling off and pulled myself together. I also couldn't decide what makeup I wanted to use today, so I sat down and started doing my makeup, and then I thought, what am I doing? I need to do this on camera. So we're going to be trying out some new and some new-ish makeup and some old favorites today to create a really natural, youthful look. Nothing too heavy, just something really natural and simple to do. So I'm also going to take really good care of my skin today. I've been on holiday. If you are new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I'd love it if you'd press that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That would make my day. I've just been on holiday with my family for Easter, taken a little bit of a break from my tretinoin and now back on my tretinoin again, and it's pretty much like starting from scratch. So my skin's now going through that flaky shedding period, and I don't want to add anything on top of it that is going to be too heavy and have ingredients in there that's going to aggravate my skin. So a normal foundation just would not look good on me at this moment in time, so we're going to be using a very light tinted moisturizer to create the look today. Anyway, that was a really long-winded way of saying hi, welcome to this video. I really wish at this stage that I liked coffee because I feel like I need a caffeine hit. I'm sure Coke Zero has enough caffeine in it to get me through. Let's go. So firstly, I'm just going to add a little bit of my P. Louise eyeshadow base to my eyelids. This is not in preparation for eyeshadow. I'm not wearing any eyeshadow today. I want to keep it as simple as possible, but eyeshadow base can be used without eyeshadow. This is a great product for cancelling any discoloration on the eyelids, whilst also blocking any excess oils that might come through the skin and the eyelids as the day goes on. Now, if you really struggle with your mascara bleeding and smudging onto your upper lids, this will help with that situation. It may not cancel it out altogether. It's not 100% foolproof, but it will help. So this is just a good tip if you do like to wear a normal mascara that is not waterproof. Then I'm going to go straight in with my creamy under eye corrector from NARS and pop that where I need it. I love the consistency of this. It's really, really creamy and yet quite liquidy, so it does sink into the skin really well while still being nourishing and hydrating enough to not go all dry throughout the day. Then let's pop on a little bit of tinted moisturizer. Now this is brand new in the UK. I believe it's exclusive to Space NK at the moment. That's definitely where I bought mine from. I will list all the products that I've used in this video in the description box for anybody that wants to check those out. I know this has been around for some time in the US, but this is the story of my life. We get things at least 3 to 6 months behind pretty much the rest of the world. So I'm really looking forward to putting this on camera to see what it looks like. I did wear this the other day for a full 12 hours. Although it didn't look the same after 12 hours as it did when I first applied it, it was very, very nice. So I did struggle to find my shade in this because I ordered online. And I just expected that the fairest shade would be the one for me, and it turned out that that was not the case. I ordered the 14W, which was, again, too fair for me, and I've gone for the 20W, which is the shade up from that. As you can see, it's liquidy, but stiff enough to hold its position. It doesn't run all over the back of my hand. And although it does say that you should apply this with your fingers, one, you know I don't like applying any sort of runny liquids with my fingers. It gets down the ends of my nails. It just makes my teeth itch. I've not done that today, but also because my skin is in a little bit of that peeling phase, I've decided to just pat this on with a brush rather than massage this in with my fingers. I just think it will be slightly less aggressive. But yeah, it is recommended to apply this with the fingertips, and it does look beautiful when applied with fingertips. But I've also applied this with a sponge on half of my face, and it looked beautiful that way as well. So this comes in 24 different shades. It's enriched with vitamin E. It also has some other lovely ingredients in there, and it's alcohol-free, fragrance-free, and essential oil-free. This does have an SPF of 20 in here. The SPF ingredients are homosalate, which is a chemical sunscreen, and also it has titanium dioxide nano and zinc oxide nano in there as well. So it's a little bit of a mixture of mineral and chemical sunscreens. If you are sensitive to any of those ingredients, this one won't be for you. I will say the same as I say in all my videos when I mention an SPF. Please don't rely on any SPFs in your makeup. Always apply a standalone SPF underneath your makeup. So this really does sink into the skin really beautifully without giving you that sticky, greasy feel to the surface. It's lovely. It's also buildable, although, you know, it is a tinted moisturizer. It's not going to give you a full medium coverage. It's going to give you anywhere from sheer to a light medium coverage. I think it's beautiful. And although this hasn't completely dried down yet, there's very little tackiness on the surface of the skin. Once it has dried down, there will be no tackiness on the surface of the skin, which is a quality I love in a tinted moisturizer. This is also not overly shiny on the skin. It's quite soft and blurring. That does not remain true throughout the day. If you are going to wear this for upwards of 6 to 8 hours, it's going to look a lot shinier and your pores are going to look a lot more evident because it's going to get shinier. However, if you're one of those people that just wants to go out maybe with the girls for drinks and you're wanting something very soft and natural, something quite blurring, and you're only going to be out for around about 4 hours, then you may want to give this one a go. I mean, I really like it. It's just even all of my skin tone out. It's given me a very, very natural skin-like finish. Nothing too radiant, nothing too glowy, but it's youthful. My skin looks nice in this. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit of concealer underneath my eyes. I'm not using a lot. This is my Ride or Die combination, the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer mixed in with the Lancome All Over Concealer. I absolutely swear by this. It just works. So before I went away on holiday, I had my brows laminated, which is definitely something that I would consider having done again because it really does help your brows to stay exactly where you want them. If you are one of those people that really struggles with your brows, if they refuse to do as they're told, then brow lamination also might help you out as well. It just saves me so much time and so much effort, and yeah, I will definitely be having it done again. There is a story to be told about the treatment, but I will go into that in a future video. So I've just added a little bit of the NYX Lift and Snatch throughout my brows. The shade that I use is Ash Brown. I just wanted to fill them in and make them look a little bit fuller. And then I've touched up the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer a little bit where I've lent on my skin because I didn't have my powder puff to hand. Kicking myself. The Tinted Moisturizer lifted a little bit. It is a tinted moisturizer. This hasn't put me off at all. It's not going to be a foundation. It's not going to be transfer resistant or transfer proof. So just bear that in mind if you are thinking of trying it. If you want something to be transfer proof or transfer resistant, this isn't it, but it's still beautiful. On that note, I am going to set the tinted moisturizer in place, which in hindsight, maybe I should have done before I did my brows, but I really want to try the new powder from Estee Lauder. Now, I've been told two completely different things. This is the DoubleWear Sheer Flattery Loose Powder. I've been told that this is exactly the same as the old DoubleWear Loose Powder. It's just been repackaged. And I've also been told completely the opposite, that this is a completely new product. I do not know which is right because I never tried the original, so I don't have anything to compare it to. There is a translucent version of this which has a hint of sparkle to it. I was assured yesterday from the beautiful Estee Lauder rep, who I know is the area manager because I've bumped into her before in Meadowhall in Boots, that it doesn't look overly sparkly when it's on the skin, but when I swatched it on the back of my hand, it was Sparkle City. So I opted to go for the light medium powder, which is matte and has a little bit of colour to it. Now we're coming into these summer months and I'm going to be wearing a lot more tinted moisturisers, and some of those days I'm going to require a little bit more coverage than a tinted moisturiser may offer me, but I still want something really lightweight. On those days, this is the sort of powder that I'd opt for, just to add a little bit of extra something. I haven't tried this yet. I am slightly nervous, but I'm going to dip into the jar and then knock off every single last bit of excess because I do not want to apply too much. And then maybe start on my chin. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so firstly, this is blending into my natural skin tone effortlessly. So there isn't masses of colour in here, but it is giving me that smoothing effect that I want. And it's really quite airbrushing as well. So if you have got a tinted moisturiser or a foundation or a CC cream that's slightly too radiant for you, this will definitely dim the shine down and make it more matte without making it look flat. I mean, I don't think this looks flat. This still looks like skin. It just looks more airbrushed. I have no idea how long this effect will last for. I will fill you in a future video, but at the moment, I'm really liking how that is looking. And it hasn't clung to any of my dry areas, of which I have several dry areas at the moment, and you wouldn't know. It hasn't accentuated my texture, so all good at the moment. I will update you, probably in a pinned comment actually, how this wears throughout the day. You do get a little powder puff with this if you want to apply it with a powder puff. Actually, that would be really quite a good idea around my nose area. Let's just have a go with that. I do like the lid as well. Some powders that don't have any sort of covering, you open the lid and the powder is absolutely everywhere, so it's impossible to get a tiny amount of powder, whereas because this has a mesh inlay, it's very easy to just pick up a little bit. Squidge that in a bit and then press and roll. Oh, that really pushes it into the skin. Yeah, I like that. At the moment, this is a winner, but powder can be really deceiving. I don't really want to make my mind up until I've worn it all day. So definitely look out for that pinned comment at the top of the comment section, and I will update you with my future thoughts. I will say, after swirling my brush in the pan and then knocking off the excess, this is so finely milled. It's now all in the air around me. So I'm really wishing that I'd not knocked all the excess off, or at least not swirled my brush in the pan and got so much on my brush that I needed to knock the excess off, because I feel like half of it is now settled in my lungs. And I'm just going to be doing for the rest of this video. Yeah, no need to swirl, just dab. Word of warning, it should come with a warning label. I'm going to dip into the NARS Afterglow palette. This is just simply glorious. I featured this in my April faves and fails, and I wanted to put it in a video where I showed myself applying it, because there are so many different ways to apply this. It is beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. There are just no more words for this palette. I'm sure I could find several, but you know, we'll not go there. This video would be very long. I actually thought that this shade here would even be too fair for my skin, but actually it is the prettiest shade. I'm going to show you all the swatches of this palette on the screen now for you, just so you can see, especially if you're wanting to see whether this will suit your skin tone. Hopefully this will give you a little bit more of an insight. So firstly, I'm going to go into this matte pinky mauvey shade, and just pop this on the tops of my cheekbones. You can see there that this does have quite a bit of colour payoff. Just be warned, do not swirl in the pan, just a little bit like the Estee Lauder DoubleWear powder. You don't need to swirl, just tap and you'll pick up enough of the pigment to give you that wow look. Definitely don't need a lot of this, which means that the palette will last you an incredibly long amount of time. So once I've done my cheeks, I'm going to dab a little bit on the bridge of my nose, down the sides of my nose. So I'm going to go round the perimeter of my forehead, not using any bronzer today, just blush. So once I've got my base perimeter pink on, I'm just going to dip with my Refa 27 brush and add a little bit of pink right underneath the tail of my brow, just where the sun would naturally hit. And if I'd forgotten to apply my SPF, then that's where I would burn. So I'm just going to blend that out really nicely all the way up. So I feel like I might have gone a little bit overboard just with that shade. I am going to add a little bit of extra dimension over the top in a minute, but I'm just shearing that out a little bit with some Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finishing Powder, just to soften. That's better. So I might need to dip into that finishing powder again in a second, because I'm going to dip into this shade here. One pat, that's what happened. So then I'm just going to pat really, really lightly just to get the powder where I want it. Again, bridge of my nose. So I'm going to go back into the blush again. Instead of really knocking it off or blowing on it, just pat it on the back of the hand to remove any excess and dab it where the sun would hit. Now this looks a bit scary on the skin, but I'm going to blend it all in with the finishing powder in just a second. Just going to put a little bit on the tip of my chin as well. Really look like I've fried myself now. So finally, dip into that finishing powder and swirl just to blend everything together and soften it all off. And then I'm just going to apply a little bit more of the red shade just at the corners of the eyes, just to bring everything together. Curl my eyelashes. A bit of the MAC Stack mascara. Putting a little bit on all of the lashes, but really concentrating on those outer lashes. Then I'm just going to add a little bit of my Makeup by Mario brightening pencil just on that lower waterline, just to brighten up and really widen the eye to make me look more awake. And then I want to apply a little bit of gloss to my lips because everything seems a little matte at the moment. I just want to elevate it to the next level. So I'm going to be using my Charlotte Tilbury lip pencil in the shade Iconic Nude. I'm going to apply that all over the lips and then I'm going to go in with my gloss. So I ended up picking up 2 of the Rose Perfecto liquid balms from Givenchy. Have you ever seen a prettier lip gloss in your life? I was only going to buy one of these and could not resist. So I've ended up buying the shade 110, which I believe is Milky Nude. Don't quote me on that. I will link the shade names in the description box. And also 210, which is a very nude pink. Love them both. I think I'm going to go for the 110 today. These are quite thick, but they're not sticky. They're not lightweight though. You can feel these when they're on the lips. Look how shiny that is. So nice. Now you can also feel a tingling sensation on the lips. It's supposed to give a plumping effect. I don't think that any of these lip glosses that are supposed to be plumping actually perform in that way. But I do think that that tingling freshness on the lip is really quite pleasant. Finally, I'm just going to finish off this look with a little bit of this sparkle shade right underneath that brow bone. Usually I don't go for that sort of a sparkly look, but this isn't really that sparkly. It just gives a sheen underneath that brow and makes it look a little more defined. I'm also going to add a tiny bit on that inner corner just to brighten. So that's the finished look for today. Really simple, easy, very natural looking. Just to update you on the powder, I really like the powder on the face so far. Again, stay tuned for the pinned comment at the top of the comment section where I will update you with my future thoughts. I don't like it underneath my eyes, so I put a tiny little bit underneath my eyes and my eye area looks a little dry, so I wouldn't use it in that way again, but at this moment in time I would definitely use it on the rest of my face. It seriously mattifies though, so if you really don't like that mattified look, you're not gonna like it, but at the minute I really like it. Love the NARS palette, really like the Rare Beauty tinted moisturizer and the lip glosses. Oh my goodness. I did, however, walk up, it was Bank Holiday Monday here not so long ago. I walked to the pub with my family to sit in a beer garden all afternoon, which got a little messy, and several flies did stick in my lip gloss. So maybe not one for those summer days, save it for the evenings, but it's beautiful on the lips. It's not weightless, you can feel it, but I really like it. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Would you use blush in this way, or is it just not for you? I definitely can understand that using it in this way is not going to be for everybody, but yeah, I really like it today and not a hint of bronzer in sight. Hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.